This is the way. This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way. This is the way.
This guy.
Play for the New York Jets.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to BX Sports Jedi Network, to the Jets-Alorian podcast. This is the way. What's going on, Jet fans? I am BX Sports Jedi Kev, the Don of the Watch Along. Let's talk some Jets, man. New York Jets, we all know the big news. We all know last time we spoke, we had a potential trade for Aaron Rodgers. And last time I came out with a live video on the New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers now is our quarterback. He is the new quarterback of the New York Jets, and we had a draft. Of course, I know it's a little late. Of course, me covering a lot of the other programs on my network did not allow me to give you instant reaction on our NFL draft. I believe the New York Jets had a really good draft here. We got 7 new players to the organization, and of course, a few undrafted players as well, and some free agent signings. We'll talk about that in this video. But let's go off with our number 1 draft pick, William McDonald, the defensive end from Iowa State, a 6'3", 236-pound defensive lineman. The Jets, knowing Joe Douglas the way they showed us in the past with Jermaine Johnson, Sauce Gardner, they're putting a hell of a defense there. You know, re-signing Quincy Williams, and we'll get to Quincy Williams because I have a lot to say about that in a moment. But they get themselves another defensive end. Good job there on them bringing back that staple. Also signing that young man to learn, possibly outside linebacker at times, if depending how the scheme they want to use him. I know you got C.J. Mosley probably on his final year with the Jets because he might be a casualty in the maybe next year. But we don't worry about that. Right now, the Jets, what they're showing us, that they're going for it. They're going for that to first and foremost to break a playoff drought. You don't make that move. You don't bring in that type of quarterback into an organization. Making that move at a 39, 38-year-old quarterback with the pieces you have in place, because if you're going for it, you're swinging for the fences. You're trying to hit the home run, and let's do it baby steps at a time. 17-game season. We got the schedule that came out. We'll be breaking that down a little bit as well. But right now, we're talking the draft. I personally love it because we got round 2 and 4 back to back of their picks. They didn't have a 3rd round pick, of course, due to the trades and the moves. I love the Joe Tippmann, the offensive lineman, the Wisconsin Badger. Actually, was more like a center, so they get themselves a backup center who they can move into right guard, left guard, whatever they need them to move around. And also Carter Warren, another offensive lineman from Pittsburgh. Boy, talk about the height the Jets have. Elijah Vera-Tucker, with Mekhi Becton, all 6'7", 6'6". Another Joe Tippmann, 6'6", 6'5" Warren. My God, talk about height and talk about beef on that lineup for the offensive line for Aaron Rodgers. I love the fact that Joe Douglas and company, also Lincoln Tomlin as well. I love the fact that they're getting the height, they're getting the big guys, the big bodies, barring injuries, to protect their quarterback. Because if you give Aaron Rodgers enough time in that pocket there, 4 to 5 seconds, he could dissect any defense, no matter who you are. If you're the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, Kansas City Chiefs, or whoever, you give any quarterback, especially with that talent that Aaron Rodgers has, two-time two-time MVP of the league, he will dissect that. And especially Rodgers was coming with a chip on his shoulders. I love what the company brass did. They managed to bring surround him there with a lot of offensive linemen. Also, like the fact that they got himself a running back for special teams, just in case. We know Brees Hall will be returning, but he might not be able until week 3, week 4. They're coming back. Not everyone recovers from an injury at that catastrophic so quick. So they want to have some insurance policy. I love the fact it's Israel. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. I know I'm going to butcher it until I hear it. And if I do it, I apologize. Ambakanda. So he's a running back from Pittsburgh. He's going to be a special teamer. Also, when you get running backs, one thing that the running backs, especially as a rookie running back, when you're really looking for him, can he pick up the blitz? You know, whenever he's in there in a passing down situation in the backfield, or if a team even wants to blitz, if he knows how to chip block, pick up the blitz, identify who's the man, if the safety is coming in, give enough time to and not allow a free pass rusher going right to your quarterback. That's how your quarterback gets hurt, and then that's how your offense stumble. Whenever you get these running backs in, even if it's a near-fight rookie or even a running back coming from another system, you always want to make sure they know how to block, they know how to pick up the blitz, and that's a big part there. Hopefully, with the training camp, volunteers mini camp passed through there, and they went and gone. Another player that I want to look at here. I know the Jets picked up another linebacker from Western Michigan, Zion Barnes. Don't know too much about him, so I'm not gonna pretend like I do, like they do on the draft shows. One name that also a cornerback from LSU and Converse, Jarek Bernard Converse. One thing I do like that at that 6th round, when players come from good organizations that are SEC cornerback. I believe he had a little bit of an injury history there. That's why he dropped to the 6th round. If this kid is healthy, and it could be a nickel, start him off as a nickel cornerback, and if he could come in and help the Jets there with time and shows that he can be healthy and continue to play, and you never know, you might get a diamond in the rough at the 6th round, or he could just be cut with no repercussions if he doesn't get his act together in training camp. Their 7th and final pick, it's a real good one here. This one is Zach Kurtz. He is a tight end, 6'8", from Old Dominion. Oh my goodness! I know I've seen a lot of the naysayers or the talking heads, analysts outside of says this guy. I know Pat McAfee himself was excited about Zach, saying that big frame, a little bit raw talent there, but you got a couple, now. And as of today, I heard Mercedes Lewis is signed with the Jets. Another tight end, CJ Uzmiama. I wonder what they're gonna do. They have a lot of tight ends in that, in the building on the roster. Zach might not even make it to the team. Might be a practice squad. He's so raw, but my goodness, this is something I say when I do basketball. When I tell people about basketball, and I do a lot of basketball on my channel, you can't teach height. No matter how much, you can't teach height. At a 6'8", if this guy has the ability to move, block, be a mountain of a man, and be a big target for a quarterback who's very accurate to get that ball high in that guy's hands, I like that. Hopefully this kid shows something here, at least in voluntary camp, workout camp, and also when camp opens up in July, to try to make the team. 7th-round picks are really hard to make the team. Usually practice squad guys, or they'll get cut. But it'll be interesting to see there. Overall, I trust Joe Douglas. Other than the quarterback, Wilson, you could say his draft has been suspected. It hasn't been to par, but after that, after the quarterback, and I know you can't whiff on the most important one is the quarterback, but other than that, all the other draft picks, if you break it down, have been really good for this team. Impactful players. You got rookie of the year candidate. You have the rookie of the year and the defensive and offensive rookie of the years on the team with Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson. Jermaine Johnson, another player that flies under the radar. You also, you got they ended up getting some good picks in the second round. Of course, Brees Hall, we know that. Michael Carter, the running back, as well as Michael Carter, the cornerback. You know, the Jets got something here. If you look at what they have there, they've got a good team. That's why Rodgers did not shy of coming aboard and wanting to play for this team. He could have easily retired. Why would he want to go to the crummy Jets and be compared to what happened to Namath? Went to Los Angeles and he wasn't good. Being that quarterback to go to a different team and not flourish. And he knows that this team has talent. He knows he has a general manager who's a smart general manager who will try to do whatever it takes to win. Now, the head coach, the jury's still out on him. Rob Saleh looks like he's a real good man, a good people's person, a team friendly or players coach that teams would like to play for, players would like to play for. But but one thing I want to give a little bit of a pushback to Rob Saleh that concerns me is the way they handle social media. I don't like the way they need to put either Rob Saleh or Joe Douglas. I don't know if Rudy Johnson could post that, but they need a social media policy for the Jets players and locker room. We saw that with Elijah Moore after a Jets win, complaining about not getting enough passes and not receptions attempts thrown his way, and he complained on social media. We also saw complaints recently with Quentin Williams. I personally I think it's childish by him deleting the Jets out of his Instagram post, unfollowed former or line or defensive end for unfollowing the New York Jets. I really don't like that. I understand. Listen, we understand that you deserve a contract extension. We saw with all the defensive end linemen in the league, it's getting, especially across in Dexter Lawrence, across your rivals, city rivals, and the Giants. I get it. You're gonna get paid. Right now, the Jets are building something special. Don't be in a selfish. And to me, that's a red flag of being selfish. You're being selfish. Hey, listen. At the end of the day, no one pay. And you know what? You got to be a little bit selfish as well. I get it. No one pays your bills. No one. My company allows me to work, but my coworkers don't pay my bills. I get that. I get you want to make your bag and you want to make your money. We get it, and you are going to get rewarded for a contract. Remember, this is the Jet organization that stood behind you when you did a stupid move and you took a gun to LaGuardia Airport and you were stopped and detained. They did not abandon you. They were in your corner. They understood it was a simple mistake. They could have easily got underneath you, and they stood there. They believe you because you are a talented player. They signed your brother. They re-signed your brother there. They were trying to make things happy for you. You will get your contract extension. You just gotta handle it in a mature way. Don't disrupt the chemistry of the team. You got something good going here with Aaron Rodgers. You got players. Alan Lazard signed with the Jets. You also got players wanting to come for the play. You got Randall Cobb in here. You got this become a destination. The Jets have become an AFC destination because they know that their quarterback, their wide receiver core, their tight end now, their offensive line, the way they revamped it, and their defense. They all got one goal is to play deep in January and try possibly in February. Nothing is given, nothing is a guaranteed in the game of football. Any given Sunday, anyone can beat you, but they're gearing up to putting the best possible team and players out on the field, on the gridiron, week after week. So I would love that the Jets to have a quote unquote social media policy in their sometime as a structure with the team because to handle it better. Which is also when we saw before when Ezekiel Elliott's name was being floated to the Jets. We saw Brees Hall tweets. I think Michael Carter about the running back room is fine. That's again going to social media. I understand this is a new age where players vent in the social media outlet and so forth. But personally, I would have loved for them to have a policy. Just be maybe I'm a little old fashioned. Listen, I get on a couple of Twitter stats myself, but I'm not a professional yet. I'm trying to make videos and trying to become a content creator, but I'm still an amateur, super amateur. And I get it. You got to be careful there. I don't want him to disrupt the chemistry of the team. And I get your frustration. Make that money. I'm all for it. I'm all for it, especially in football, where the contracts are not guaranteed. They're as worth as the paper is written on. And I want you to make your money, but I don't want you to be disruptive of the team. And hopefully they go forward with that. They do something more stricter. I would have loved Quincy Williams to just and have a sit down, get the representative. I don't want this to turn out to, maybe it's the PSD as a Jet fan. I don't want this to turn when the Jets were when they went after they went to their first AFC title game. Remember that old Hard Knocks with Darrell Revis, Tannenbaum, and they had to meet him at that diner, and that was so diva-ish. I don't want that to happen here. It's bad enough we don't know what we're expecting out of Rodgers. We know he's all invested. He's all in. You saw him going around all of New York City to all the different, to the Knick game, Ranger game. Alan Lazard, engaged with his teammates. He's at practice. He came into the facility. He's engaged. He's ready to go. You don't need any distractions. You don't know. The Jets don't need negative press. They need a lot of positive press. And boy, did they get positive press to our next segment here with 6 primetime games. That is the Aaron Rodgers effect, because the Jets for years would never seen on prime television until you get a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. They open up their season September 11th at home against the Buffalo Bills. Yes, Bills Mafia Nation. Now I want to make a quick small announcement. I will be joining the Bills Mafia AFC East Roundtable on his channel there. I'll put the details on our channel. Want all our Jet fans, our Jets-Alorian fans, to go out there and when I go on that program as well to support. I know they are rivals. I know we're not supposed to be hand in hand, but as content creators for one to another, they were so humble enough to invite me on, and I was gracious enough to accept it to go on their program to talk with Bills Mafia, representing our Jets. Giving my takes on the Jets and what they think, and rebuttal if they see my Jets different from what I see, in the same way with the Bills. So I'm glad. I'm honored to be on the Bills Mafia on that channel to go and discuss Jets football. So I wanted to get them over and put them over here. We'll be seeing them September 11th. We'll definitely have the watch along here. So, we're definitely going to be here doing that watch along. First game of the season. I do all the watch alongs. I'm going to try to do as many Jets watch along as possible. But boy, NFL Sunday Ticket is extremely expensive. Especially it's on the YouTube net platform now, but it's still almost $400 to get the NFL ticket. That's going to be a tough one. Hopefully, things work out where I can afford it to do every Jet watch along, all 17 games. But we're going to have 6 of them on primetime, possibly 7. Of course, one of the big games here, week 2 against the Cowboys in Jerry's World. That's a 425. That's going to be a nationally televised game, even because I'm in Orlando, Florida, so I got to wait for it to be in my Orlando market. I'm pretty sure we'll be getting that game as the showcase game of the week on September 17th against the Cowboys. Of course, on everyone or a lot of Jet fans, personally like myself, can't wait for September 24th against the Patriots. I want to see Aaron Rodgers roll, and especially the Patriots not going to be so good with Mac Jones, Bill O'Brien as their offensive coordinator. I would love to see how the Jets do against Bill Belichick and Belichick's when that offense. That's going to be. Remember, one thing I like to say on the first 4 games. Usually, the offense is ahead of the defense. So the fact that Nathaniel Hackett is the offensive coordinator, you got Alan Lazard in here, Mercedes Lewis, Randall Cobb, and I kind of like it with an offensive system that he knows. Rodgers knows the verbiage. He knows the checkdowns. He knows where the receiver is going to be, the safety blankets. I like the fact that the Jets offense is going to be ahead of schedule. Hopefully the defense comes ready to go. And hopefully, barring no injuries, hopefully they come out going strong, especially week 3 against the Patriots and just blitz the living crap out of them. When I mean blitz them, outscore them, punish them, it's time. I think it's time now for the Patriots to start taking those beatings that we took for many years under Brady and Belichick. So I think it's time to return those favors. It's time to cash in those receipts, Jets fans, on those Patriots rear ends. So let's go. Week 4, it is going to be a matchup of the matchups here, at least for us Jet fans. I don't know how the Chief fans are going to feel about us. Maybe they're going to want to embarrass us and say, wait a minute, you're not the new darlings of the AFC. We're the defending champions, and you got a long ways to go because we take on the Kansas City Chiefs October 1st at prime time. Yes, primetime game number 2. It's against the Kansas City Chiefs October 1st. They come to MetLife Stadium. We're gonna get Patrick Mahomes, and boy, that's gonna be a feature there. That's gonna be a fun one. I can't wait for that. Of course, they go to Mile High to the Broncos. We'll see Russell Wilson. A game that is gonna be interesting because the Jets have a chance to do a lot of firsts. They're going to Denver. They've won in Denver before, but that Mile High Air at 425, that's going to be another game of the week. So the Jets are going to be featured a lot on national television. I believe that Cowboy game, 425, will be the Fox game that's going to be featured. CBS game, that will be also October 8th in Denver. That's the late afternoon game, so that might be featured then. And then, of course, another 425 game, and that probably be a Fox feature game as well. The Eagles and the Jets. Now, the Jets all time has not beaten the Eagles at all. Regular season. Believe they're 0-9 against the Eagles. They have not beaten the Eagles in the regular season. It'd be interesting to see how they'll fare up against these Eagle teams. Jalen Hurts, the defending NFC champs. It'll be interesting how the Jets will react there. And then we play our rivals, New York Giants, October 29th. So the Jets got a gauntlet of a schedule. I thought the Giants were really getting a really tough one. But man, the Jets, look at all those high profile games there. And after you play your crosstown rivals in the New York Giants, you host another night game. I believe that's a Monday night game. The Chargers. So you host the Chargers. You get Herbert coming in here across the country though on a Monday night. Jets, Rodgers, Herbert. So you're playing the quarterbacks of the quarterbacks here. And then, of course, you play another night game, and that's going to be against the Raiders in the Black Hole there in Vegas. So they'll go out to Vegas on another night game. And then, of course, they play the Buffalo Bills November 19th. That's the day after my birthday there in Buffalo. That's going to be a good one. And then they play the first Black Friday game. So they're going to have the whole national televised game. All eyes on me on the first Black Friday game at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you get up after Thanksgiving, you have some leftover turkey still, you warm it up, you sit down and you watch along with me, and we'll watch the Dolphins take on the Jets from New Jersey. That's going to be another rival game there. Jets and Dolphins, no love between that team. Of course, then the Jets host the Falcons there. Falcons were rebuilding. Maybe that's a soft underbelly part of the schedule for the Jets with the Falcons. Although, and every year you never say that it's a soft schedule on paper because you never know. All of a sudden, the Falcons could be a team that's rolling. You never know. The Texans, we play the Texans. We play the Dolphins in Miami on the 17th. Hopefully, Santa Claus will bring me some tickets so I could sit underneath the tree or I could go on the 17th to Miami. Who knows? The Commanders, we take the Commanders on Christmas Eve. So the Jets host the Commanders on Christmas Eve before the ho-ho-hoing and all the mistletoes and all the festivities there. You get the Jets at 1 o'clock hosting the Commanders. And, of course, they play on the 28th. But 4 days later, they play the Cleveland Browns. That is a night game. Cleveland Browns at Cleveland. And, of course, January 7th, they close it out against the New England Patriots. So hopefully the Jets there, they have everything wrapped up and they're ready to go. They don't need to play all their starters against the Patriots, but you never know. They might need that just to keep their playoff hopes alive. Hopefully not. One thing that I'm going to say that concerns me, though, I wanted to talk about that with this team, and it's not nothing to do with the players or the coaching. It's the field. I'm worried about MetLife Stadium. We've seen in the past players complain about it. The 49ers when he had to play back-to-back weeks against the Jets and the Giants. The injuries to Bryce Hall, the injuries to certain player, Saquon Barkley, certain running backs, and certain that's one thing that worries me going into the season with the Jets is that damn stadium. Personally, I wish the Jets will find their own stadium. I wish they'll find a site. I wish that the New York City Board of Commissions or will approve them to build by Willis Point next to City Field. Jets should return back to the city or down by the docks, the train docks there by the West Side Highway, like they wanted years ago. Boy, the Jet. I think it's time, Jet fans. I think we need our own stadium. MetLife Stadium is, of course, it has no charm. It has not hosted a playoff game for neither the Giants or the Jets. Jets and Giants, Giants have been in the postseason, but they've been on the road. Hmm, I don't like the stadium. I think the Jets need their own stadium. They need it already called, whatever it is, and I wish that there was some funding for it. I wish that, I don't know if Willis Point by City Field. I know they want to change that, do some boardwalk, some Cat River Walk, and take out that chop shops there. You got the LIA, you got the trains there, you've got LaGuardia, you got JFK there. Bronx is just a hop skip on the Whitestone. You know, you got the George Washington Bridge if you're coming from New Jersey area. I think personally that should be a place where they should think about putting it. Willits Point. I don't know if there's any. I don't know. I haven't been. I've been out of New York for close to almost 20 years now. I don't know what Pelham Bay Park area, that Pelham Bay Orchard Beach area looks like. I don't know if there's real estate there for. Remember the Yankee Stadium many years ago was rumored to be moved there. I remember that when I was growing up back then. I don't know if there's room there to do that. I don't know what's the situation there real estate wise. Also, what's going on, because I know that there's an issue with the Garden, Madison Square Garden with Penn Station. They want to move the Garden over by where that fit by the rail yards there, where the Jets wanted to do that dome. Personally, I think it's a win-win if the Jets could find themselves a retractable dome. I don't want them to be a fully domed team. I like the element of a little bit of cold. You want to have that wind and you want to have that cold. But if you're the Jets, man, you got to think about getting your own stadium, because now you could really host the New York City Super Bowl and all that stuff. The money it draws. Let's face it, Jersey has its charm, absolutely, but there's something more saying that you're more in the city when you feel more a New York, more embraced when you're in the city. Personally, as a Jet fan, it's time to get back into the city. I would love that there. Even if hey, maybe they I know that New York City FC, I think it's getting a new stadium. Why not share it with the new Jet Arena, the Jet Stadium, wherever you want to call it? Have that built there. I would love that. I don't know if that's any truth to it or truth to the matter, or that's just me just talking out of the side of my mouth. But it is what it is with that with the Jets. So we got the Jets going on here. We got some Rodgers in here. I like the fact that we got the offense is going to be clicking early for the Jets with Nathaniel Hackett, Aaron Rodgers, the weapons they bought Rodgers. You see Rodgers going a conscious effort, working hard with Garrett Wilson, because he is dynamic. If you could get that Garrett Wilson going. Also, Corey Davis looked like he's going to stay on this team, although with Randall Cobb and Mercedes Lewis, I don't know what's going to happen if they're going to cut Corey Davis. I hope not. I hope he sticks around. I think Corey Davis, when healthy, is a very good third down receiver, slot receiver. I don't know what's going to happen with that there with him. I like the tight ends that we have for our system. I wonder what they're going to do. Personally, if I had a wish list here of all the players, one free agent, I would love the Jets. I do not know if it could fit, especially if Quentin Williams is becoming a headache. Frank Clark, there's a chance to bring in that veteran, proven pass rusher to help with go along with your young stud draft pick. If you get that to teach to put a tutelage under him, my goodness. If you're thinking that you have to move on from a Quentin Williams, which I don't think so, because they don't have to move on from him. He still got 2 years. They could renegotiate. Um, personally, you can always franchise tag him. You know, that's gonna get resolved. But if there was money available still, I will go get Frank Clark. Just bring Frank Clark, and my goodness, talk about a pass rushing attack onslaught there. Oof. I think the Jets are afraid that he might. They wanted to make him wait. They don't turn into a Muhammad Wilkerson. I think that's what they don't, and I don't think so. I think Williams is not no Muhammad Wilkerson. Muhammad was really great until he got that contract extension and that drive, that determination, didn't go nowhere. And the Jets could have PTSD with him. With seeing that with Quentin Williams being, especially him acting like. See, I was gonna say no, but it opened the door to me when him acting like a doofus and erasing unfollowing the Jets on Instagram, um, defensive end for dot dot dot. That's childish. That's 9-year-old stuff. That's and that right there could draw a red flag on why you might be compared to a Muhammad Wilkerson. That's a problem. That's the only thing. That's my only concern here, and also the head coach. You know, he has to prove here. He has to prove. He has to. This is a prove a year for Coach Sala. You have to take advantage of Rodgers' time. Rodgers, I believe, got 2 years of high level football. And if nothing goes, they're stuck not making the postseason or first round exit because of bad coaching. I could see Rodgers just walk away. Say, you know what? I'm too old for this. I'm too old for this. I'm leaving. So that's my concern when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. But I think if the Jets are playing well and they're in the postseason, they're bringing his toys, they're bringing his weapons, they're accommodating him. He is right now the darling and the toast of the town. Boy, he makes Daniel Jones go under the radar, which I think is a good thing for the Daniel Jones because it takes away the expectation of that high contract, that $45 million contract, and because now all quarterback eyes are on Aaron Rodgers, not Daniel Jones. So that's a good thing that Rodgers came to New York because they're like, oh my God, and I think the expectation level for Daniel Jones is tempered a little bit because everybody, all the criticism and all the eyes are on Rodgers. How would he fare? How would he play? Would he play well in New York? Has he lost a sip on his fastball? He didn't go. He went all the point last year. Did not throw over 300 yards. So Rodgers, all 17 games, not once over 300 yards. Could it be a concern? I'm really be honest with you. I'm not really going to be concerned. I think Rodgers and that team, they just hit that plateau, that high expectation level. Remember, Deontay Adams, no Adams. He left there. I think that also made him a little bit one dimensional with Rodgers last season. They didn't watch too much Green Bay Packer football, but I think that absence of him not being there on the Green Bay Packers, you could felt it, and I think Rodgers will be okay. I hope that the first game against the Bills, he throws over 300 and plus yards, and just quiet all the doubters and say he doesn't pass over 300 yards. Listen, we've seen it. You could win even if you don't throw over 300 yards. You know, you just got to make the right plays. But we shall see there. So that is the Jets-Alorian podcast. I want to thank you guys for allowing me. This is the way. Don't hit that like, hit that subscribe, and we appreciate you there. Of course, let's help any more Jets news. We'll be coming on and talking some more stuff. Hopefully, get some invited guests to talk some Jet football, of course, and maybe we'll get some our brothers from the Bills Mafias to join our channel as well to come on and guest star and have a conversation about the NFC. Not only on his channel, but also come on here as well, which I know they will. They're great guys there. So for myself, I want to thank you guys again. Don't forget, hit that like button. That's the way. And we'll see you next time here on the Jets-Alorian podcast.